What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Fade. I'm Stephen Laurie. With me is Eddie Montanez. Luke's usually with us, and Mike Pupo is usually with us, and he's going to be with us after this. But he just had a kid, and Luke's real busy with school, so for now, we're just going to rock it with me and Ed. But to start, I really want to get into the Aaron Rodgers ACL tear. Man, a lot of people are talking about what they should do. Tom Brady said he's not interested in coming back to football. The Jets aren't interested in Colin Kaepernick. I really want to hear your point of view on this, man. What do you think the Jets should do? Stick with Zach Wilson or try to sign a vet?
Uh, well,
It's
I'm
crazy, dude.
they're winning now. Like they have a team that they have to win now. So, and I do think that defense is the most important part in football, and that defense held Josh Allen beautifully. Jordan White had 3 interceptions. He already had his incentive reward for the year with 3 interceptions in the first game, which is insane.
Hmm.
So I definitely think that defense is definitely stout, but I don't think Zach Wilson played horrible. I think he played a game that he went out there, he did his little check down routes, he did his little short
Right.
passes, he played a game that he knew that he couldn't be flashy. He just had to go out there and do what he had to do, and he did. He executed. Garrett Wilson helped him out in that for that touchdown, a beautiful catch, but
Hmm.
touchdown counts, and he won the game. The W's for Zach Wilson, and he deserves it, man. Everyone hated on the kid. I remember last year he was saying that if a veteran came in, he was going to make their life hell. But uh, I really do think that Aaron Rodgers was like I didn't think that Zach Wilson's career was done when Aaron Rodgers got signed.
Me neither.
I definitely thought that Zach Wilson was going to learn so much from Aaron Rodgers. Like we saw Jordan Love on Sunday played a phenomenal game against the Bears, and his
He
release
did.
point, like he looks literally
And he
like
looks
Aaron
good.
Rodgers
He
back
looks
there.
like he's been playing in the NFL for a while. You would not
Yeah.
think. Right. I agree.
But Jordan Love has also sat behind Aaron Rodgers for about 3-4 years, and
Yep.
Zach Wilson was only with him for one training camp. So we can't really expect Zach Wilson to play at a level that Jordan Love played on Sunday. I mean, it was only one game. We don't know if Zach Wilson will end up being played better than Jordan Love. We don't know what happened. It was only one game, but I definitely think that they rock with Zach Wilson for now, and maybe like I was telling Luke this, maybe try and trade for like a quarterback that isn't good but is known to go out there and win games. I would go and try and trade for Taylor Heineke.
I was thinking that too. Maybe Taylor Heineke, or maybe just like sign another vet, maybe to back up Zach Wilson. Like I was seeing on Facebook this morning, people were talking about signing Carson Wentz or Nick Foles. I think that would be stupid. I would probably try to maybe. I think Andy Dalton's on a 2-year contract with Carolina for like 10 mil. I would probably try to trade for him, and maybe he could pass some knowledge off to Zach Wilson now that Aaron Rodgers isn't really able to even step on a practice field. But yeah, but mind you, man, the Jets have been not exactly in this position, but they were in this position with Breece Hall last year. He played phenomenal last year and he tore his ACL. And then look what happened week 1 the following year. Breece Hall had a great game. He rushed for over 100 yards on, I think, only 14 attempts. So with Dalvin Cook on the same team. So I don't think Aaron Rodgers is going to be done necessarily. And I think that the Jets should stick with Zach Wilson because they just drafted him number 2 overall not too long ago too. You can't just move on from him. That's a huge draft pick that you can't just do nothing with that. You at least have to give the kid another chance. Now that Aaron Rodgers was there coaching him, and like you said, it's only a training camp. You can't expect him to perform at like another level, like he's a Joe Burrow or a Patrick Mahomes. But you have to give the kid a chance. You really do.
How
I don't think.
how I look at it right now is like it's like how Brock Purdy was put in a situation last year. He got put into an offense that is top 3 in the league. Any quarterback would be amazing in that offense, in my opinion.
I agree.
You put Zach Wilson on the Jets, who have 2 top 10 running backs. You have Garrett Wilson, who is going to be a top 7 receiver probably after this year if he could still do what he does with Zach Wilson or whatever quarterback they bring in. They have a very good offense. They have Alan Lazard, who's an amazing wide receiver too to have, and then you have McCole Hardman, Randall Cobb that you could throw in at wide receiver 3. That offense is pretty good. So whatever quarterback I feel like they throw in there will be all right, as long as they just don't try and be as flat. Like Aaron Rodgers is that guy. Like Aaron Rodgers could throw deep balls.
Four-time
Like
MVP.
he
Yeah,
could do whatever he want. Like he could throw
I
deep balls
agree.
without giving a fuck. But
I
with
agree.
these quarterbacks, they can't be as risky turnover. Like they can't. I don't like you get what I'm trying to say. They just can't
No, yeah.
be as flashy. They just gotta play a slow paced game and they'll win games. Because with that defense and that offense, whatever quarterback gets done in that system, I think could be good.
No, me too. Me too, man. And I don't think Zach Wilson is necessarily a bad player. I just think he made stupid decisions on the field. You know what I mean? Like it was almost like he was playing like a younger player than he actually was. He didn't look like a number 2 overall pick in the games that we've seen him play so far in the NFL. But that really could turn around with Aaron Rodgers, because Aaron Rodgers could still sit there and mentor him. You know what I mean? But he's just not going to be like practicing with them. So that's just going to, I think that they rock with Zach Wilson. I think that maybe they should think about signing a vet like Andy Dalton or somebody in that range. Maybe Nick Foles. Nick Foles has a Super Bowl championship, so that's not completely out of the question either. But signing Carson Wentz, I think that would be the dumbest idea. Mm-hmm. I really do. If I'm the Jets, I'm staying away from Carson Wentz 100%. I'm trying to bring in an older guy to mentor Zach Wilson because, like I said, you just drafted him number 2 overall. And next year, I think we see Aaron Rodgers come back. And if he does come back, I think that Aaron Rodgers could move around the pocket definitely better than a 45-year-old Tom Brady. So we'll see what happens. But going off of that, while we're still talking about quarterbacks, I want to talk a little bit about Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Dak. Week 1, you think quarterbacks are going to explode and have huge games. You know what I mean? But I mean, in Joe Burrow's defense, he played in the rain. He had 80 yards. But Josh Allen, man, 3 interceptions. I mean, he's supposed to be one of the faces of the entire NFL. You know, he's on the cover of Madden. I think he's the most overrated quarterback in the NFL. I truly do. I've been saying it for the past 2 years. I think he's so overrated. People say that he's top 3. I think that's absolutely absurd. And I think week 1 proved it. I really do. When Josh Allen is in a big game, he's not, I don't think he's great under pressure. I really don't. And we've seen this multiple times in the past couple of years with Josh Allen. You think the Bills were he was favored to win an MVP last season, and the Bills were favored to go to the Super Bowl not too long ago as well. He's done nothing with this team. He has Stephon Diggs, who is without question a top 5 wide receiver. You got James Cook, who is, I think he's going to be a good running back. I mean, he's Dalvin's brother. You know what I mean? I think he didn't look horrible in week 1. I thought he played pretty good. And then you got the what's the rookie tight end's name? Dawson Kincaid. So it's not like Josh Allen doesn't have weapons. He has Gabriel Davis too. He has weapons all around him, man. I think he's a quarterback with a big arm and is not good under pressure. That's exactly what I think about Josh Allen. He's top 5, maybe 6. But I'll tell you this right now: if Tua, Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, Lamar, and Josh Allen were all in the same draft, I'm taking every one of those quarterbacks over Josh Allen. Tua when he's healthy, because Tua is pretty injury prone, but I think he plays great when he's healthy. And last year when he was healthy, he was a front runner, not a front runner, but he was a candidate for a little bit for the MVP. So I think Tua can be good, and he looked great in week 1. Tyreek Hill had over 200 yards. Tua threw for like 466 yards, I think. If he can stay healthy, I think he'll be great this year. I think this will be Tua's breakout year. He was just drafted number 1 overall too. So Tua, I think, definitely breaks out. Joe Burrow, I think him and Jamar Chase have a huge week in week 2. I think that was a major fluke. Week 1, they were playing in the rain. You saw Joe Burrow put on the glove. That's how you know it's bad, when the quarterback who doesn't play with a glove on puts on a glove. You literally could see the rain bouncing off their helmets. It was absolutely pouring. I don't blame Joe Burrow for that at all. That loss at all. Cleveland looked pretty good, though. What do you think about them? Deshaun Watson?
Yeah,
pretty good, man.
Yeah, with Josh Allen and like all that shit, like how you were saying, like Dak, Burrow, and I definitely think Josh Allen's overrated. I thought last year and 2 years ago that him and Mahomes were definitely 1 and 2. Like when they were in that shootout playoff game, I definitely thought that the year after that was Allen's year. Like he should have came out there and been pissed off and wanted it, but like you can't. I mean, Burrow's definitely the second best quarterback in the NFL, but like I just hate, like I love Joe Burrow, but I just hate how like he's a diva. Like I feel like he's
almost
such
like
a
kid.
diva. Yeah.
I know what you mean. Yeah, he's almost he's almost like a young kid.
Yeah. But I think he is a beast.
Great player though.
Like, don't get me wrong. Yeah. And like how you said with Dak, I don't really think you could like judge Dak off the Giants game because he wasn't on the fucking field. The Cowboys defense scored 2 touchdowns, had
Yeah.
4 forced fumbles. Like you
Tony
can't
Pollard had 2 touchdowns.
really critique Dak on that game when the defense did everything. And Tony
And you know
Pollard
me,
had
I'm a
2
Cowboys
touchdowns.
hater, but I agree with you.
Yeah. So I
100%.
don't really think you could like say anything about Dak for this game. It was all the defense. But I definitely think Josh Allen, I thought he was gonna come in this year and torch. Like I definitely thought yesterday's game he was throwing for over 350, 4 tutties. Like I didn't think he was gonna go out there and throw 3 interceptions. Like
Mhm.
that's insane. And like the decisions he was making, bro. Like he ran and jumped when he ran and jumped with 3 Jets players around him, and the first yard line was like 7 yards away. He's an idiot.
And
Like
that's
he's
why
just
I was saying
asking to
about
get
the
hurt. Sean McDermott was telling him to be. I remember during the game actually, Sean McDermott was telling him to be smart. Like he was literally looking at Josh Allen saying, "Be fucking smart."
Mhm.
Like Josh Allen just tries to be the most flashiest player on the field at all times, and you can't do that
I
unless you're
agree.
Mahomes. Mahomes is the most flashiest player on the field. He's the fucking
Yeah.
best player on the field. Like I just feel like he just tries to do too much. You have Stephon Diggs, just stay in the pocket and just look for him. You have Gabriel Davis, stay in the pocket, look for him. Stop fucking rolling out. Stop rolling out and let plays develop. Yeah, like
And in a lot of ways too, not taking anything away from Jalen. I don't want to sound like one of those idiots on the media hyping up Jalen, but that's like what Jalen Hurts does too. He doesn't let plays develop. In week 1, I really wasn't impressed with Jalen Hurts. I'm not gonna lie.
I thought with how bad the Eagles played, they should have lost that game.
I agree. I agree, dude. It was Jake Elliott. Jake Elliott was the savior in week 1, man. Jalen Hurts, I felt like wasn't letting plays develop and was just kind of running and seeing where it would go. You know what I mean? And the Patriots, I think, have the most underrated pass rush in the entire league. I really do. I think Matthew Judon's great. They were getting the Hurts quick, man. The Eagles have one of the best lines, if not the best line in the entire league. They were getting the Jalen Hurts quick, even when he was running out of the pocket. In the sense what Hurts, man, it was like the first drive he looked good. He threw a touchdown to Devontae Smith, but then as the game was going, it was like he would hut the ball and then look around for 3 seconds. Like if you're running a post, man, the receiver hasn't even cut yet, and you're just running around, dude, trying to find a hole, make like a running back.
I will say one thing about Hurts, dude. He's very smart. Like when he stays in the pocket, like he's very smart about where he's going with that football. Like I was telling Luke this, I was telling Luke this. Like I would be surprised, honestly, if he threw more than like 5 interceptions this year.
And that's why
he's so smart in the pocket.
And this is what me and Luke talked about too. That's what made Jalen Hurts so good last year, is that he sat in the pocket for a little bit and made plays develop. Last year, if you watch the highlights, Jalen Hurts he's a running quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I think of him more or less as a dual threat quarterback because I think he could throw too. But last year, Jalen Hurts, to me, in my opinion, looked more of a pocket passer than a running quarterback. And I think that's what made him better, is that he let plays develop. A.J. Brown had 1,500 receiving yards. Devontae Smith, at the end of the season, man, his receiving yards climbed. He finished with 1,200. When there was like 4 games left of the season, he only had like 860. So, I mean, he had consecutive games where he was just going off, and that's Hurts letting plays develop. You know what I mean? And that's what he needs to do. I think the Eagles need to work on a lot in order to be a contender as they were last year. I really do, because I don't think the play calling was there, and I just think Jalen Hurts he needs to let plays develop. And I love Jalen Hurts, but I just think he needs to just chill for a minute. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's week 1. Like I mean, obviously you gotta win. You gotta win week 1. Like week 1.
That's what makes me nervous, is that it's week 1 and he's already doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm not taking anything. I don't want to sound like I'm bashing Jalen Hurts, because he really, truly is my favorite quarterback in the league, and I am a major Eagles fan. But I don't know, man. I was a little distraught about what I saw. Yeah, in week 1, I really thought at the end of that game that the Eagles might lose it. I really did. I was stressing.
And I didn't like that play call by Sirianni or whoever the fucking offensive coordinator is. I don't know if Sirianni calls a play for you or whatever, but to go for it on 4th and 2 on their side of the field is ridiculous.
It was weird, dude. It was weird, man.
Like,
it was a weird week 1. I really did think it was. And same thing like with receivers too. You paid A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is under $100 million contract. We have him for the next 4 years. Rushing out of the pocket like that and not letting plays develop is not going to put this guy that we're paying all this money to use. throwing 1 touchdown a game. And like you said, it's week 1. I get that, but that's what scares me is that it's only week 1.
I think your defense played pretty good. I mean, I'm not gonna say they played phenomenal because the linebackers were giving up a bunch of catches to Hunter Henry. Hunter Henry played amazing. You
Yeah, he did.
gotta admit that.
Yeah,
Hunter
he did.
Henry played amazing. That one
Mhm.
catch, dude, that he had in the middle of the field was
At the end
absolutely
of the
beautiful.
game.
But like I definitely think that play by Slay was beautiful when he fucking ran
One of the
literally
most
30
athletic
yards.
players
Yeah.
I've ever seen. Yeah.
I think tomorrow's definitely gonna be a harder task because you gotta guard Jefferson. Jefferson and Addison, bro, is definitely gonna be harder to cover than Kendrick Bourne and Demario Douglas.
Yeah.
Like obviously. And Jordan Addison had a great week 1.
He had a
Like,
touchdown,
he had
yeah.
a great week 1. Like I think it's gonna be hard for you to key on Jettas and guard Addison, I think. So and your linebackers during week 1 in pass coverage, they didn't look the best, obviously, because Hunter Henry was catching balls over the middle all day.
Now with Nakobe Dean
So
hurt too. Reed
Mhm.
Blankenship and James
And
Bradbury
it
didn't.
sucks that Miles Jack retired.
I know.
So
Yeah.
tomorrow is gonna be a very I'm excited to see Jefferson obviously because I have him in fantasy, but I definitely want to see what the Eagles defense could. I mean, I definitely think the Eagles are gonna win the game. The Vikings just lost to the Buccaneers,
Mhm.
but I'm just gonna be keen in on Jettas and Addison on how they like play them because uh I'm really it's like not excited, but I'm like I don't know. I just want to see how the Eagles could key in on Jettas and then try and contain Addison. Because if the
But that's the
linebackers
thing.
play and Jettas loves over the middle, so the linebackers are gonna need to be
Yeah.
there. So I don't know.
And yesterday, I don't know if you heard me, James Bradbury and Reed didn't practice. So if they're out tomorrow, dude, that secondary is gonna be really hurting.
Probably Khalil Ringo is probably gonna get a call up.
Yeah. Yeah, he will. But I don't know, man. Just going against Jefferson, I think it's gonna be a close game.
And dude, you gotta like Zeke and Stevenson didn't have. I mean, they didn't play horribly,
I
but
think
I
Stevenson
def-
actually played all right, man. I have him
yeah.
in fantasy. He played good.
And I think Madison, I was telling a lot of people this. I think getting rid of Cook was very smart with the Vikings because I thought Madison was a very good was a very good RB2 and good enough to be
Me
a running
too.
back 1. So you got to key in on Madison too, which he's a great receiving back as well.
Yeah.
So you just gotta
One of the best, honestly.
you guys are playing one of the best offenses in the NFL tomorrow and probably one of the most shittiest defenses. Probably so.
And that's why I'm expecting a big Jalen Hurts performance tomorrow just because of the week 1 performance. I was saying I wasn't thrilled about it, and that's what makes me expect a monster week 2 performance from him. This was an MVP caliber quarterback last year. Could have been a Super Bowl champion. People say that he played the best Super Bowl game that they've ever seen, and obviously it's not the best Super Bowl game ever, but that they've seen in their lifetime. People say that it's the best that they've seen. So I think Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. I really do, and I think he's going to be a great quarterback for a long time. I just wasn't thrilled in the week 1, and I think week 2 he's going to have a monster performance.
And a lot of people say like once people get paid, they just let the money go to their head. But like, I never saw Jalen Hurts as like Jalen Hurts is a dog. Like he's the type of guy that would take pay cuts to get his team better.
Yeah,
Like he don't give a fuck about money. He just cares about winning.
exactly.
So I
He's
definitely
so mentally tough. I think that's the
yeah.
thing about him too, is that he's so mentally tough. Like fans screaming and throwing shit doesn't really affect him. I haven't really saw Jalen Hurts crack under pressure, since he's been a starter. And mind you, too, every year that he's been a starting quarterback, he's been to the playoffs or greater. So I think the Eagles still are going to be a major contender this year. I just think that they have a lot to work on, for sure. And with these injuries and with the linebackers and Reed and James Bradbury, I really hope Bradbury plays tomorrow because of Addison and Justin Jefferson, because I don't think any of our other corners are necessarily strong enough to handle Jefferson if he's going out deep. So I think Bradbury or Darius Slay, obviously. Darius Slay is going to have to stick him the entire game if Bradbury don't play. So that's going to be an interesting matchup to watch. And with the safeties too, man, if Reed doesn't play, I guess they'll throw in the rookie Sidney Brown, who actually looks really good. He so fast, man. He laid huge hits all preseason long. I think Sidney Brown is going to be really good when they give him his opportunity. So I mean, if Reed doesn't play, I'm hoping to kind of see him. But I don't know. Who do you think? I think the Eagles are obviously going to win. Who do you think's going to win?
I just said I think the Eagles are going to win, but
Oh yeah.
I just hope Jefferson has a good day because I'm playing bubble guts.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
And you got to respect Cousins too, man.
Yeah.
Cousins looked good too in week 1.
He
But
did.
while we're on the subject of receivers, I want to talk a little bit about them and who we think's going to lead the league in receiving this year. I just want to say Tyreek looked great, and I think Tyreek's been a favorite to lead the league the past couple years.
He's
And
getting 2K, bro. Like
yeah, I'm not even just saying this because he had 200 yards in week 1.
Like,
this year is Tyreek Hill's year. He is going to go off, dude.
I was
He
seeing
really
something
is.
that he was saying, I don't want to be known for speed anymore. I want to be known for my cuts and my routes.
Yeah.
And on Sunday, his routes looked
Looked
crispy as shit.
great, dude. Not only is he the fastest receiver in the league, but his routes looked like he's one of the best route runners in the entire league too.
So if he could get his route running up to be one of the top 3, like if he could get his route running to look like Tay, Devontae,
Yeah.
Jettas, even Deontay Johnson has great route running. Like if he could get up there with his footwork, oh my god, he might have 2,500 yards.
Yeah, you can't stop that. You can't. And the thing is too with Tyreek, man, you have Jalen Waddle on the same team. They're so fast, man. You cannot stop that when both of them are going deep.
And Raheem Mostert.
Yeah, and Mostert at running back. He's probably the fastest running back in the league. That team, man, has so much speed, and I think Tua is going to be so good this year if he stays healthy. I really do. I think he's going to be an underrated quarterback this year. A lot of people talk shit on Tua, man, and say he's not that good, but I think Tua is very accurate. I think he throws a really good deep ball. I think he's good under pressure. I just think he takes huge hits. You know, he can't take hits like that anymore. He's going to have a short career.
I think Tua's good too. I love the lefty release.
Yeah, me too, dude. It's nice.
Like, I think, dude, Tyreek Hill is just so, like, you just can't beat speed. And if he could get his route running to be top 3, oh my god, it's literally going to be over.
Speed
it doesn't
kills,
matter.
Dude.
It doesn't matter literally who's on him. It don't.
It really doesn't. It really doesn't, dude.
Doesn't. Like you can't stop speed.
That's a good take, man. I like that. But I mean, obviously, we both think Tyreek's going to lead the league. Who do you think's going to be 2 and 3?
Dude, you mean Jefferson, dude. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say
you gotta put Jettas in there, dude. Like, I mean, and if Devontae had like 70 yards, I think, but if Garoppolo can manage to get Devontae the ball more, I think Devontae's gonna be 3.
I think it might be Jamar. Yeah. I'm telling you, dude. I think
week 1. I was telling a lot of people this, bro. Do not sleep on Amon-Ra St. Brown.
I know.
He is the only receiver on that team that Goff throws to. Do not sleep on Amon-Ra St. Brown. He actually might be top 5 in receiving yards. And he's a beast, and I love him.
I think so, too. He really is good, man. His brother's in the league, too, which is crazy because you don't really hear about his brother. Yeah, his brother's not as good. But Amon-Ra's a straight stud. Yeah. He really is, dude. He catches everything that is thrown at him. It could be the tightest coverage. He's still going to catch it. Yeah, man, I agree with you. He's great. I think he's a major, not a sleeper because he broke out last year.
I love him. I think for top 5 in receiving.
Top 5 receiving yards, I agree with you. I think he could very well be on that list. Same thing with.
I think CeeDee too, bro.
I was gonna say, man. I think I don't want to jinx it. No, I'll save it for a couple weeks later. I'll save it for a couple. It's a hot take on Devontae Smith, but I'll save it for a couple weeks down the line. But I don't know, man. I think top 5 is going to be Tyreek, Jefferson, Chase. Then we'll go 4. I'll take Amon-Ra. I'll take Amon-Ra at 4 for top 5 in receiving, and then 5 I'll go AJ Brown.
I'm gonna go. Obviously Tyreek, 2 Jettas, 3. I'm gonna say Diggs 3. Amon-Ra 4. And just for this to be, if this happens, I'm just calling it now. If Travis Kelce is not hurt next week and plays 2 to 17, he'll be top 5 in receiving.
I actually changed my mind about A.J. Brown. You know who I'm taking at 5? You'll like this one too. If he stays healthy, Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, yeah, he's a beast.
Calvin Ridley in top 5 receiving.
I like dude. If
like
Kelsey,
dude.
could come back next week and then like just stay healthy for the rest of the year, he actually might average 120
I
yards.
think he will. You don't see Travis Kelce hurt,
No,
man.
yeah.
You don't
And
see
he
it.
looked all right on the sideline. Like, you didn't see a boot on him. Or
Yeah,
anything.
yeah.
Like,
I
it
think
wasn't
they
a
just
touching
wanted to
or
be
anything.
safe about it. Exactly. Yeah, you don't want your best
Week
player,
one.
dude. Exactly.
It's
Yeah, you
fucked up.
don't.
Chris Jones didn't play though.
Yeah,
Like,
they just paid him.
and they pay him. Like, how do
Yeah.
you miss game one and then you're back
I
week
know.
2?
I think that, but I
Like,
think you
what?
like that, man. That made them realize how bad they need
Yeah,
Chris Jones.
yeah. Because
They really do.
Montgomery and Gibbs did run a lot on the outside.
Yeah. Yeah, they need him, dude. Chris Jones is a monster. It's only a
Yeah.
1-year deal that he signed, but he's getting paid, and that's all he
Mhm.
cares about. So
Yep.
I think he's going to come in next week and bang. He's ready to go. And with Mahomes too, man. I saw this thing on Facebook. Mahomes threw to 7 different wide receivers in that game. They don't have, when Travis Kelce is not on the field, they do not have a solid number 1 wide receiver. And I like Kadarius Toney too, but I don't think he looked great this year. I think injuries are starting to catch up to Kadarius Toney.
I just don't think like I know a lot of people say, oh, if Mahomes had a real number 1 wide receiver, he'd be a monster. Like he already is one of the greatest of all time. But if he had a number 1 wide receiver, even like he'd win MVP every year, blah blah blah. But like he had Tyreek Hill. Like,
see, but I think he does
Hill.
have a number 1 wide receiver in Travis Kelce.
That's the thing. That's what I want to say. I don't think the Chiefs could really. Why would the Chiefs waste money on a wide receiver 1 when you could get 3 decent wide receivers for the same amount you get a wide receiver 1 for? When he throws the ball to Travis Kelce, 75, literally probably 60 to 70% of the time. There's no point. Dude. There's no point of wasting money on a number 1 stud receiver when you have a top 2 tight end of all time. Because I still think Gronk's number 1, but if you have a top 2 tight end of all time, why the fuck would you pay why would you pay Tyreek Hill when you have?
No, I agree.
Yeah, like
I agree.
You could get 3 decent receivers for the price of 1, basically, and then you have Travis Kelce for life because he ain't leaving.
No, yeah, he'll retire Kansas City. Yeah. Same thing with Mahomes too. I think Mahomes will retire in Kansas City. I think he'll be a Chief for life.
And Mahomes is good enough to make those 3 receivers studs. It's just the fact that Kadarius Toney dropped those 3 balls.
Like, Kadarius Toney, dude, I think
those balls were dots.
They were. I just think I don't know, man, with him. I think like last season, I thought like in the Super Bowl he looked pretty good, but he's one that's been injured a lot. You know what I mean? He's dealt with a lot of injuries, so I think that's just going to start catching up with him.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't really have to do with anything with dropping the ball like he was. I mean, I think that's insanity. The one ball that he dropped was literally in his hands. He had it like this, and it fell out of his hands. Like,
and the one was literally in his gloves, and he just
like that's insane. And I don't know. I just think that if before free agency or the trade deadline comes up, I think the Chiefs try to trade for a decent number 1 wide receiver, but right now they just don't have it. And they don't have to get some stud like Tyreek Hill, you know what I mean? You don't have to pay somebody $100 million to come and play for you. You just need a guy that can do enough that when you're not trying to throw to Travis Kelce, you can throw to him and you can rely on him to get that ball and possibly score.
That's why I was saying like Juju was a wide receiver 1, but
it's just his knee.
Yeah, but they didn't like Mahomes barely even threw him the ball too.
Yeah.
So like I don't like they saw that last year. They were probably like, why would we even try and go out and get another wide receiver 1? We just got this guy Juju Smith-Schuster, who was number 1. Who in my opinion could still probably be a number 1 wide receiver on like a shitty team, like not like the Eagles, obviously, but like he could be the number 1. He was the number 1 wide receiver on the Chiefs. He's the number 1 wide receiver on the Patriots. Like,
I was reading about him, dude, that his knee could explode at like any point. That teams were so scared about taking a risk on him because of his knee. That like he has bad knee problems. That I don't know exactly what it is, but apparently his knee could just pop at any point.
Yeah, he's probably doing the Corvette dance.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. That Rashee Rice is pretty good.
Yeah, I think they're high on him. Yeah, I think he's gonna be really good.
But I think they need another weapon this season. if they're gonna, because people talk about the Chiefs being a dynasty, dude, and what they could do in the future. That's all, they're just missing one piece, I think, man.
Like they have
Mahomes is
Isaiah
a phenomenal
Pacheco,
weapon.
who's a stud. Like
Yeah, he's good
Pacheco's
too.
a stud.
He's
You
just
have
not a receiving back. They have
yeah.
McKinnon. That's the only thing.
I like their their running backs.
Me too.
You
That's a
have
good one too.
receiver back, and you have Pacheco who fights for every yard.
Yeah.
Literally, it's the first play of the game. He's not. He's literally gonna just stomp. Like he's a beast.
Oh, I agree.
love Pacheco.
Me too.
But like, I don't know. I just don't think the Chiefs could really pay a wide receiver one when Mahomes throws the ball to Kelsey 60
Yeah. Yeah. It's the Chiefs, man. There's a lot. I mean, he threw to 7 different receivers, dude. That's crazy. That's a lot of teams don't do that, man. That's why I really think they need to figure the option out. Because what if Travis Kelce was to get hurt again? Then what do? You can't just rely on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's only getting, not that I'm not saying Travis Kelce's getting old and out of shape or nothing, because he's absolutely not. I think how you said Gronk's the best tight end ever. I think Kelce's the best tight end ever. I think, or if he's not right now, I think he's going to be. But I know Travis Kelce hasn't been hurt a lot in his career, but he's only getting older. You know what I mean? And as you get older, man, injuries become more prone. So I think you have to just find a young guy, a young weapon. But like I said about Rice, he can develop. I think he's going to be good in about 2 or 3 years. But I think the Chiefs need another weapon now, just in case. But I want to get off of that subject and talk a little bit about defenses before we get off here. Top 5 defenses, man. I think a lot of teams looked like they had great defenses, but who do you think your top 5 defenses are?
Dallas looks like the most complete defense in the NFL. Like
Dallas at 1.
Yeah, I got Dallas
a
1.
They're saying that.
Even though they didn't play the best, I got to put the Eagles up there. Their defense is on paper amazing. But like with all these injuries now, like they're gonna need players to step up. Like with the line, like when Dean going down, and you said Bradbury wasn't practicing. If you don't play, you're gonna need people to step up there. Dude, I like the Falcons defense, bro. I love Okuda. I love AJ Terrell. I love Bates. Bates had a day. Like I think that defense, if they could build around Okuda, Terrell, and Bates, they're gonna be nasty. And Lorenzo Carter, they're gonna be gross.
Yeah, they do have a good defense, man. That's a good pick. Who do you have them? Who do you have them at 3?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
I'm gonna go Packers 4, and then oh, 49ers. 49ers 3.
Yeah. I was surprised they put them at 1.
Yeah, 49ers. No, I'll put 49ers 2, actually. I don't know how the fuck I forgot to put 49ers. So I'll put Cowboys, 49ers, Eagles, Falcons, and then who did I have 4? Oh, Packers.
Oh, yeah, the Packers.
So Cowboys, Niners, Eagles, Falcons, Packers.
That's a good list. Mine looks a little different, but there's some similar ones on there. One, I have the 49ers. I think the 49ers looked, in week 1 at least, they look like they're the most complete team. Brock Purdy, I think, looked pretty good too. He played well. While we're talking about the 49ers, Brandon Ayuk, I think, is going to break out this year. I was saying this at the end of last season. I drafted him in fantasy. I think Brandon Ayuk has a huge year with Brock Purdy. Deebo Samuel is also good. I think he has, but I think eventually Ayuk might take over that number 1 spot. I think he's just so elusive, man, and he's so athletic. In his first game ever, man, he hurdled an eagle when he was a rookie. He jumped completely over him when he was standing up straight. It was insane. But going back to the defenses, I think 49ers have the best defense. 2, I'm going to say Dallas. Micah Parsons is just an absolute freak. And not only do I think he's the best player, the best defensive player in the entire league, and I hate to say it, but I do think he's going to win Defensive Player of the Year. And he's just, you can't stop Micah Parsons. You know what I mean? He's so good, man. Like there's not really a linebacker that's the same shape as Micah that does what he does. He's just so good. You really can't do anything to protect or to like suit for him. 3, I'll put Philly. I think Philly, when healthy, has arguably the best defense in the entire league. And with the additions of Jalen Carter, I think he's going to be the defensive rookie of the year. Nolan Smith, I think, is so fast off the line in a couple years. I think when he develops, he's going to be great. And this year, I think he's already going to have a decent season. Just with the additions on the D line, I think the Eagles, when they're healthy, arguably have the best defense in the league. That might just be biased in saying that because I'm an Eagles fan, but whatever. Four, this might be another sleeper, but they really impressed me in week 1. The Jets. Quentin Williams is just a monster, man. The way he gets to the QB is just absurd. And Sauce Gardner can cover just about anybody in the league. And he's only in his second year. So I think those two are going to carry that defense to big things, not only this year, but in the next coming years. And 5, man, this is actually might be a major sleeper. I know you'll like this show because you like a lot of players on the team, but I'm taking the Lions at 5. Aiden Hutchinson, man, looked good. He pretty much pressured Mahomes every play that he was on the field in week 1. I think that's another candidate for Defensive Player of the Year, along with Micah, is Aiden Hutchinson. And all game long, dude, too. I know Philly fans don't like him anymore, but C.J. Gardner-Johnson was laying huge hits all game, dude. He was talking shit all game. I think he's going to play great again this year. I think he might even be better than he was for Philly last season, for Detroit this season. And then they have Brian Branch, too, who had a pick 6, and a lot of people take him as a Defensive Rookie of the Year candidate. I think just those 3 alone are going to do huge things in the NFL.
And they have Jack Campbell, who they drafted.
Yeah, they have Jack Campbell, too. Yeah, exactly.
I have a dark horse for Defensive Player of the Year. And, dude, I was telling Ethan this on Sunday. Jalen Phillips from the Miami Dolphins is an absolute monster off the line. Jalen Phillips, number 15, I think he's going to have a breakout year. I think he's going to come in top 5, top 3 in Defensive Player of the Year. I'm not joking. He's so fast off the line. He reminds me a lot of Micah Parsons. Obviously, Micah Parsons is better. But Jalen Phillips, dude, if you watch those Miami Dolphins games, bro, that guy wrecks. Like, he terrorizes quarterbacks. Like, I think that kid has a real chance of being Defensive Player of the Year. And Max, that's just not a yeah. He's a linebacker, but he plays everywhere, dude. He line him up at safety. He plays linebacker. He plays the edge. Like, the kid can play everywhere.
Oh shit! What team did you say he played for? The Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good dark horse too. I think my dark horse for Defensive Player of the Year would probably be. I don't know.
I want to say, I wouldn't say these two are dark horses, but Judon and Max Crosby absolutely fucking destroy. Like, them
Max
two are
Crosby, yeah. Max Crosby's a good pick too. That could be my dark horse actually for Defensive Player of the Year is Max Crosby. But I definitely do think Aiden Hutchinson is gonna have a big push for that, too, man. But I think Micah in week 1, man, just looked so good, and I hate to say
you can't dog Jordan Whitehead either, bro. He was all over Josh Allen.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of C.J. Gardner-Johnson on the Eagles last year had a great year. He wasn't in the talks for the Defensive Player of the Year, but I'm sure if he played the games that he missed, he definitely would have been.
No,
so if Jordan Whitehead doesn't get hurt and could keep racking up these interceptions, I mean, he had 3 week 1, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson led the league with 6, so already has half of them. So if Jordan Whitehead could keep fucking playing, keep playing good zone and keep ball hawking, I think he has a real chance.
You know who else has a good secondary too, and I was surprised they got upset? A good young secondary, the Seahawks.
Yeah,
Woolen's good, dude.
Witherspoon's nice. Tariq, yeah.
I think Tariq Woolen's a beast, for real. But before we wrap up, I just want to give each of us, man, just one fantasy player that you think is going to go off this week. One guy that you could tell people to trust.
I have 2. I know a lot of people. Well, I like Jahmyr Gibbs this week, dude. I drafted him in the second round, and I know a lot of people said he didn't play a lot week 1 because of Montgomery, but you can't throw a rookie out there against the Super Bowl champions week 1. And with the touches he got, the guy touched the ball 8 times and got me 8 fantasy points.
He looked good, dude.
He had the 2 longest rushes of the game. He looked so elusive. I'm telling you.
In and out of tackles, dude. Moving.
This kid gets the ball this week against Seattle. He might, I'm not joking, might have 25 to 30 points. If he gets the ball against Seattle, dude, he is going to torch them. Bad.
That's a good pick.
And then my other one, dude, is Puka Nacua from the Rams. Dude, for a rookie to go out there.
What do you have, 120 yards or something?
119 yards with 15 fucking targets. You got 15 targets as a
As
rookie,
a rookie.
and Cooper Cup's out. That's
Yeah.
and if Stafford, if Stafford trusts you, bro, he trusts you because he trusted Cooper Cup that year he won Triple Crown. So if Puka Nacua could get Stafford's trust,
I agree with you.
he might have not even only this week, but like the weeks that Cooper Cup are out, he might be a dog.
That's a good sleeper pick. I actually really like that. Mine is I just want people to understand that week 1 was a fluke between Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. I think this week the duo absolutely goes off. I really think Jamar Chase has 25 plus this week,
Dude,
and
yeah.
you can expect Joe Burrow to go off as well because he's going to be the one throwing them passes to Chase.
I like DeAndre Swift tomorrow too with Gainwell out.
I like Swift. Yeah, Gainwell's out. Yeah, I like Swift tomorrow.
Gainwell out. I definitely like Swift tomorrow.
That's another good sleeper too. And honestly, man, too, Keenan Allen. If Austin Eckler doesn't play because of that ankle, dude, expect Keenan Allen to get a heavy target
And
share.
Joshua Kelly, dude.
Yeah, and Joshua Kelly. I agree.
There's a lot of people on the waivers that are going to be picked up.
There is. Dude, there's so many.
Picked up Hunter Henry.
You're picking up Henry.
I already picked up Hunter Henry.
Oh, you did.
And Kyron Williams too from the Rams. I don't know if you saw, but he outsnapped Cam Akers 67% to 30.
Oh, really? I didn't even see that.
I picked him up.
I've been working so much, I haven't even seen it.
Yeah, I get it. Fuck you.
I'm actually gonna look and see what I'm picking up right after this. But yeah, man, we'll end it with that. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back next week, hopefully with Luke and Mike. We'll see you guys then.
And Farfy.
Who?
And Farfy.
Oh yeah, and Fartby. Bubble guts.